Hey guys, what is up? My name's Tyler Blah, and I am a final year medical student here in Sydney, Australia, and I'm also a bone marrow transplant vlogger as well. And please pardon my voice, I am kind of in the middle of a flu right now, so it's a bit croaky and a bit off, but I had to make this video today, whether I was sick or healthy, so this is for you. And now, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to smash the subscribe button down below. And if you're returning, it's good to see you. So you've read the title, and today is May 26th. And what May 26th means to me is that, well, it's been 2 years exact, so 24 months, since I had my bone marrow transplant from a young German donor. So that donor provided their bone marrow / stem cells to then come over to Sydney and, well, essentially save my life. And it's crazy to be at this point right now. Like, it's absurd. And from what I understand, actually, based on how the bone marrow donor registry works, is that now I'm at the 2-year mark, the donor can actually request to make contact with me if I give permission. Now, I've already given permission for them to reach out to me. So, if you're watching, Guten Tag, and please, I would love to meet you. I owe you so much, and I'd like to think you'd be happy with what your donation's kind of done, and I hope I'm using it as best as you could have hoped. So thank you so much, and hopefully I get to meet you soon. That would be just, I wouldn't be able to, I don't know, I'm not prepared for that, but I just want it so much. I would love to meet you. So please, if you're watching, I look forward to meeting you soon, hopefully. But yeah, so 2 years now, it's kind of crazy because I feel like it's just crept up out of nowhere. I mean, I understand that in 2020 there was, well, the pandemic, and so that year kind of, I guess, flashed by for a few. But yeah, it's kind of bizarre to think that I had the transplant 2 years ago. And I suppose something that made it faster for me was I even got a lymphoma after that transplant. So I was distracted for the first few months after transplant, at least, based on that lymphoma. It's strange to just be here now and just kind of reflect on the fact that I made it. Like, holy crap, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, obviously this was what I wanted, this was my goal, but it's very different to actually finally be there, and just, you know, I did it. Yo, Adrian! I did it! I made it, so it's great. It's good, it's so good. And so I thought, considering the fact, oh, my nose. And so I thought, considering the fact that on this YouTube channel I've shared many of my downs with you when things have been going the worst, it's important for me to make sure that I share all of my ups with you as well. And well, this 2-year anniversary is one of the biggest celebrations I've had in my life right now. So, woo! Let's celebrate this together. It's something really worth celebrating, that's for sure. And so I thought, what better way to celebrate today than to share with you my favourite donuts from my favourite donut shop that I mentioned last week, and show you some of the amazing stuff that they can actually do. So, just give me a second. Okay, so, this is the box. Great branding, wonderful branding, really. And so here's some of their donuts. Hopefully that gets into camera, I can't actually see, so I'm just gonna assume so, but so this one's amazing. This one's called their cinnamon cake donut, and it's so cool because it actually is a cake texture. So it is very much a cinnamon cake in the shape of a donut, and it is so delicious. Now this one is called the chocolate Soma Himpson. I believe it's based on the Simpsons character, but for legal reasons, there is no name infringement. And these two are definitely my absolute favourites. And then just got your classic vanilla glaze, a new coffee flavour because I always have to try the new flavours, and then just a little cinnamon balls because, well, they are, well, very convenient and easy.
I'll have what she's having.
That's good. That's so good. There's definitely worse ways to be sick. So, thank you, Grumpy Donuts, for supplying the goods and just making an amazing product. This is not sponsored at all. Of course, if you want to sponsor, feel free to reach out. I will happily take that. Ooh, microphone. But I just love the product so much, so I'm always happy to talk about it. And now, so what I thought would be a really, really good opportunity to kind of talk about today is one of the, well, I think, really common questions that I seem to be getting, particularly a lot right now, and that is around what is one of my biggest inspiration/motivations during all of this, so I suppose cancer, chemotherapy, and, well, a transplant. And I think it's very, very hard to pinpoint specifically down to what it is. But I watched just recently this amazing scene in the show Black Mirror, in the episode called Be Right Back. There's like this 10-second scene that I think really kind of encapsulates the way that you kind of get caught up in the emotions of the whole experience. Hopefully I'll play it over this and it doesn't get copyright flagged and I have to take it out. So if it's not there, it got removed, sorry, but I'll bring it up so I can watch it with you.
Oh God, no. Please, I don't want to do it. Please don't make me do it.
No, that's not fair.
No, I'm frightened. Darling, please, don't make me. I don't want to die. God, I don't want to die.
It's not fair.
Please, I'm frightened. I don't want to die. Don't.
I mean, pulling back on that, just that feeling of, I'm frightened, I don't want to die. And it's one of those things that it's like, the concept of dying and death, I suppose particularly for a young person, is something that is only ever hypothetical, but then to actually have it as a reality was just very difficult. And it's just that perfect combination of being sad, afraid, scared, and just so caught up in the entire emotions of it. And that acting performance, I thought, just really kind of captured the reality of how I felt. And so I think it comes down to, like, my biggest inspiration was knowing in that moment, in all the moments, that I was too afraid to die, and I wasn't ready to die. And so, based on that, I just had the sheer arrogance and confidence to believe that I was not going to. And I'm not saying that provided me with any success. Going with the medical team, doing the treatment required, and being as compliant as I could be with all the medicines and the hospital stays, everything. That obviously contributes greatest to it. And so I think, that's obviously down to the external factors that we don't individually have control over. But as far as individual things, for me it was just an absolute refusal to accept the circumstances I was in. It wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't. I thought about it and I was too goddamn afraid to let that be my final circumstance. And that's why I think it was a bit of arrogance. Because I really had no right in saying whether or not it was going to happen. But I was pretty bloody opinionated to think it wasn't going to be me. And everything was going to be right, and I was going to make it right. So there was a large part in just recognizing that exact emotional state that I was in at that moment. I think that's what I'm trying to kind of convey as best as I can to you. And so, another good TV show that I'd strongly recommend, if you want to watch. This is, I think, good for people that have gone through cancer, know someone who's gone through cancer, or just people that want to kind of understand it a bit more. And it's a show on Netflix called Afterlife by Ricky Gervais. I'm hoping to do a video on the channel where I can kind of cut my voice. I'm hoping to do a video on the channel where I kind of discuss that show, but they really touch on such important themes and topics that were just so relatable, like unbelievably relatable, because they're around losing his wife to cancer. That's what the whole thing is about. And I don't know how he came up with such a great show that was so accurate and poignant and crudely funny, and that's what made it so enjoyable. Because, when you're going through this, a cancer patient can be one of the funniest people because we have to take a laugh in our circumstances, to be honest. And just yeah, such a good show. I even sent him a message just saying thank you for making such a good show. Surprisingly, he didn't reply. I thought he would definitely reply. I thought he would definitely reply. Bloody tissue. But yeah, it's a great show. I'd recommend it. It's so good. It's so strange how right it is. But yeah, that was a great TV show. Strongly recommend it. And that's kind of how I would kind of answer the concept around inspiration and motivation, to be honest. But here I am, 24 months post-transplant, living, breathing, smiling. I'm 7 months away from being a doctor here in Sydney, which is just ridiculous to even think that's going to happen now. It's something that I'm so beyond grateful for, and it's the best thing ever. If you're currently scheduled for a transplant, or someone you know is, be prepared to know that it's not very easy. It's extremely tough and challenging on the individual and those around you, but I wouldn't change it for a thing. And that's coming from someone who got a cancer after the transplant. I would not take it back at all. It's life-changing, it's life-saving, and it's the greatest thing. One of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. So, yeah. Just try to focus on what could be after. I think that is a great motivator to push you through. Because I understand a lot of people message me saying how they're very scared of coming up to their transplant and always ask for my advice. Yeah, everything takes time, and be excited for when it's all over. That's definitely something to look forward to. And so, I think that's a good cover for my 2-year anniversary. Had some donuts, showed you the donuts, and I covered a deep, meaningful question that many people have sent. So I hope that's been informative for you, and it's not often something that they would tell you, the medical team, because it's not a perspective they can kind of provide. So that's my perspective for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, throw down all the questions that you have down below and tell me where you are in your transplant journey or your chemotherapy protocol. Tell me everything about what you're going through or about someone you know is going through. Let's kind of always keep this an open community to kind of chat and discuss all of these things. Otherwise, it's been amazing to chat with you as always, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Please remember, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.